Kicked out. At 13 for being pregnant, she returned years later to shock everyone. At just 13 years old, Emily's life took a devastating turn. When her strict and traditional parents discovered she was pregnant, they saw it as an unforgivable shame. Without hesitation, they threw her out, cutting all ties and leaving her to fend for herself, in a world she was far too young to navigate alone. Heartbroken, terrified, and with nowhere to go, Emily found herself sleeping in shelters and relying on the kindness of strangers. But she refused to give up. Determined to build a better future for herself and her unborn child, she worked tirelessly, taking odd jobs, seeking support from social programs, and finishing her education against all odds. Years passed. Emily, now a strong and independent woman, had defied every expectation. She had built a stable life, raised her child with love, and achieved success no one ever believed she could. But deep inside, there was one thing she had never forgotten: the family that abandoned her. One day, she decided it was time to return. With her head held high and her child by her side, she walked up to the same doorstep where she had once been cast away. When her parents opened the door, they froze in shock. They had assumed she was lost to the world, never imagining she would return, not as a broken girl, but as a woman who had survived and thrived without them. What happened next? Would they finally accept her? Or was it too late for forgiveness? Some secrets can't stay buried forever. Below is a more extended narrative of the story, written in a style that could be adapted into a longer YouTube video. Feel free to adjust the details, pacing, or structure as you kicked out. At 13, for being pregnant, she returned years later to shock a dimly lit bedroom. A young girl, Emily Nair, age 13, sits on her bed, cradling her hands in her lap, fear etched on her face. At just 13 years old, Emily's world was turned upside down. She found out she was pregnant, an event that would change the course of her life. Emily stands trembling in a small living room. Her parents, conservative, traditional, and visibly upset, face her with anger and disbelief. How could you do this to us? You're in many families. Teenage pregnancy is met with shock. But for Emily's parents, it was beyond that. They saw it as a stain on their honor, something they could never accept. They throw her out. Visual. The father shoves Emily's belongings into a bag. The mother looks on, arms crossed, silent tears brimming in her eyes, but refusing to show sympathy. Father. You've disgraced us. You can't stay in a single moment. Emily lost everything she had ever known. Her home, her Emily wandering down a dark street, a small duffel bag over her shoulder. The glow of streetlights reveals her tear. With nowhere to go, Emily found herself on the streets. She spent nights in shelters, sometimes even in public parks, doing anything she could to survive. Emily, older voice, reflecting back. I was terrified. I didn't know how I would eat, where I'd sleep. I only knew I had to keep going for the baby a small community center or social services office. Emily speaks quietly to a kind. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Emily met people who were willing to help: social workers, counselors, and volunteers who refused to see a 13-year-old mother left to fend for herself. Emily, studying at a desk in a shelter. A volunteer hands her prenatal vitamins and helps her register for alternative schooling. She found programs that provided her with temporary housing, medical care, and the chance to continue her montage of Emily's life as her pregnancy advances. She's attending prenatal checkups, reading baby books, and finishing homework, and it wasn't easy. Every day was a battle, juggling school, prenatal appointments, and the emotional burden of knowing her own family had abandoned her. Interview style clip Emily. I remember looking in the mirror and thinking, I'm just a kid. How can I raise another human being? But then I realized I had to a modest hospital room. Emily, still very young, holds a newborn baby girl in her arms, tears of relief on her face. At 14, Emily gave birth to a healthy baby. She named her daughter Hope, symbolic of the future she wanted to create. against a fast-forward montage. Emily attending night school, working part-time jobs, caring for Hope. Over the years, Emily faced countless challenges: financial struggles, judgment from society, and the unrelenting pressure of single parenthood. But she never gave up. She was determined to break the cycle of hardship and build a stable life for herself and her child. Interview style clip Emily. Sometimes I worked 2 jobs just to pay for babysitters. I was exhausted, but every time I looked at Hope, I knew Emily, now in her early 20s, wearing a professional outfit, standing in front of an office building with against every expectation. Emily not only finished her high school education, but she also earned a scholarship to attend college. By her early 20s, she had a stable career, her own apartment, and a bright future for her and Hope. Emily's apartment, cozy, welcoming, full of her daughter's drawings. She built the family she never had, one filled with love, support, and understanding. Decision to return home. Emily looking at an old family photo of her, but there was still a piece of her past left unresolved. Emily's parents had never tried to reach out, and she had carried the pain of rejection for years. One day, she decided it was time to face them and show them the woman a shot of a suburban house. Emily, holding Hope's hand, approaches the front door. With her daughter by her side, Emily walked back to the place she once called home. The door opens. Emily's parents stand there, stunned. The father's face goes pale. The mother's eyes fill. They had assumed she was gone forever, that she might never recover from being thrown out so young. Instead, she stood before them, not broken, but stronger visual. Tense silence in the doorway. Father. Emily? Emily. Yes, in that moment, years of anger, hurt, and regret came flooding back, but also a chance for forgiveness, if they were willing to take it. Visual. The parents exchange looks. They see Hope, the granddaughter they never met. Mother. Voice trembling. We had no idea how to handle things back then. We were visual. Emily takes a deep breath. Emily, I didn't come here for your permission anymore. I came here to let you see that I'm okay, that I made it. I came to show you your granddaughter. If you want, would they embrace her now? Or was it too late for reconciliation? The father steps aside, gestures for Emily and Hope to enter. The mother, tears in her eyes, reaches out uncertainly. Voiceover, narrator. Sometimes it takes the greatest hardships to open our eyes to what really matters. Family, visual. A warm, late afternoon scene in the living room. Emily, her daughter, and the parents sit together talking quietly. Still tense, but with a glimmer of hope. Voiceover, narrator. Their relationship wouldn't be fixed overnight. But for the first time, there was a possibility of healing, of moving forward and learning from the past. Visual Emily and Hope leaving the house, the parents standing on the porch, offering a gentle wave. Narrator, no matter how difficult the journey, Emily's story reminds us that resilience, determination, and self-belief can overcome even the darkest circumstances. And sometimes, the best revenge is simply never underestimate the power of a determined heart. No matter your age or circumstance, you can rise above. Forgiveness doesn't always come easy, but hope can heal. Voiceover. Thank you for watching this incredible story of triumph and perseverance. If you found inspiration here, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us all of the power of the human spirit.